So the next one is from Zahir.
Hey, Zahir. What a nice name.
I'm struggling to find the motivation to keep my business going during these hard financial times.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated when it's so easy to give up?
Yeah, great question. So, what's interesting about it is that the harder it is to keep going is often the reason why you keep going. And what I mean by that is, if it was just me and Ash, right? Or even to be fair, if it was just me in this business, I probably would have given up many times. But because I've got an entire team of people, and if I was to make the decision to shut it down, I'm not just shutting it down for me, but I'm shutting it down for Jade and for Ash and for Millie and for Jason and for Suze and for Ben and like everybody in the team. So I think part of it is we have to understand a couple of things apart of just motivation in general. So let's take the COVID element out of this and let's just look at what motivates people. So there's really three schools of thought on this. If you go back to early psychology with Freud, he says that you're motivated by two things, pain and pleasure. So effectively, if there's an idea, if there's a carrot at the end of the stick, then you're working towards a goal. It's like I can go through these difficult times because I know there's pleasure coming, right? Delayed gratification, right? Or it's really painful right now, but I know that if I let it go, I'm going to be in tremendous financial pain, as in bankruptcy, or I'm going to lose everything. Well, that's a good reason to keep going as well. So that's Freud's interpretation. You then go to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is more of a recent concept and construct, and then it's about self-actualization. So then you get the idea of going, well, providing that your business is at least meeting your basic needs, part of being a business owner is the idea of growth. I mean, that's certainly what it is for me. So by pursuing business and going through the difficult times, you are self-actualizing in some way. And then the third way of looking at it is really coming from the work of Dr. Viktor Frankl, who wrote a great book called Man's Search for Meaning. And he found that actually, in his experience, he's a Holocaust survivor who was in, I think, 6 different Holocaust concentration camps. And he found that, he said that Freud was close but not accurate, and Maslow was a little bit off the mark. He says it wasn't pain or pleasure or even self-actualization that motivated people, but how they shaped meaning. So I think that's important for you right now. If you're experiencing difficulties in COVID, well, this is either a tremendous setback for your business, and it's difficult because you can't open up, you can't run your normal business, you can't get your stuff in the same place, you can't sell in the normal ways that you could, and you could very easily focus on all the things you can't do. And that's going to naturally feel quite demoralizing, and it's going to naturally feel quite demotivating. The flip side is if you are in an ability, and it's not perfect for every business, but if you are in an ability to focus on what you can do, then maybe this is a tremendous opportunity for you to pivot. And I'll give you a great example. Jay didn't like the look of our calendar, so she's moved it. It wasn't the backboard here, but then she's moved it down at the bottom.
That was a great call. Good call, thank you.
So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is we had a calendar that was built for 2020. And I laughed at it when I was rubbing it out today, planning for 2021, because we were meant to go and do all these events. And obviously, prior to COVID, we were an events company, and now we can't run events. So what can we do? Well, I can build online trainings. And we've actually completely transformed our business. We've doubled our revenue. I think we've more than 5x'd our profitability, and we moved everything online. And we've gone from just working predominantly in Australia and New Zealand to now working in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, the United States, Canada, Europe, and the United Kingdom, and Indonesia, just to name a few, and Singapore and Malaysia. So we've gone global in this time, we've expanded our team, we've touched more lives, we've grown, it's been the best period of time for us. But that's only because we saw the opportunity, we said, okay, great, how do we shape the meaning? We can shape this meaning as we've lost everything. We can shape this meaning as we can't run our business and our events. And I know plenty of people that are in the events industry that have just buried their heads in the sand and gone, they can't do anything about it, so fuck the world, it's game over. But we said, okay, we can't run events, but we weren't committed to running events. We were committed to changing lives. We just did that through events. So we chunked up on our mission and purpose and just doubled down on doing what we did really well. So when you're in that place, well, then that comes back to you're always going to be more motivated when you focus on 3 things. And I want you to write this down. And for anyone that's listening, what can I do with what I've got in this moment now? If you want to feel demotivated, focus on what you can't do with what you don't have in the future. But if you want to feel motivated, focus on what you can do with what you've got in this moment now, or certainly what you think you can do with what you've got to get ready for the future moments as well. That's also important. And I know that some people will hear this, and there's also some people that are in a position where their business and their industry and what they do just simply doesn't lend themselves to any form of a pivot. And they are quite a black and white type of business. So, one of our dear friends, Shannara, runs a beauty business in Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, and she's been shut down for the majority of the year. So it's like, cool, do you really want to build an entire online beauty school? No, you don't. So then just fucking shut it down, maybe hopefully take a bit of a break if you're in a good position financially, and batten down the hatches and hope that when you can open up, things can get better. But that's not always an easy place to be. But certainly what drives and motivates me is the idea of growth and figuring out a way to solve it. I just think of this as a big problem and I can figure it out. So I think that certainly helps me. When my back's against the wall, I'm really driven to get out of difficult situations. I'm far more motivated when the pressure's on than when it's not. I tend to find that I get a little bit lazy when things are a bit easy, so I enjoy that. But hopefully that helps, whatever it's worth.